Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mansoor Sarwar, and I'll be spending this semester with you teaching you operating systems course. The course code is CS604. Before we talk about what we are going to cover in this course throughout the semester, I would like to introduce myself to you, and then we'll go on and see what the agenda for today is and what is the outline for the course for the whole semester. Like I said, my name is Mansoor Sarwar. Just a little bit background of myself. I did my FSc in pre-engineering from the Government College Lahore. Then I did my BS in electrical engineering from the University of Engineering and Technology Lahore. Afterwards, I went on for my master's and PhD in computer engineering. I finished both of those from the Iowa State University in the USA. After finishing my PhD, I spent a number of years, a total of about 17 plus years, teaching at institutions of higher education, including the UET Lahore, University of Portland in Oregon, Kuwait University. Then I joined LUMS. I taught there for 3 years. I was also the head of the computer science department there. And more recently, I joined the University of Management and Technology, UMT, in Lahore. I spent most of my career at the University of Portland, where I spent 11 plus years, and I was a full tenured professor there. Just to let you know a little bit about the course itself, as to what we are going to do in the course, in particular what are the objectives and some of the requirements of the course. The main objective of the course is that we learn about the principles and concepts involved in the design and implementation of operating systems. We are going to do that by way of covering the basic concepts used in design and implementation of the operating system, as well as looking at the various contemporary and old operating systems such as Windows, Unix, and Linux operating systems, as to how they use these concepts. So essentially, we're going to integrate a discussion of the Windows, Unix, and Linux operating systems throughout the course. The textbook for the course is going to be Operating System Concepts by Silberschatz, Gagny, and Galvin. It is the 6th edition of the textbook, published in 2002 by John Wiley. As far as some of the other requirements go, I'm going to require you to do about 3 to 4 programming exercises. And the purpose of the programming exercises is going to be to make sure that whatever algorithms and concepts we cover in class, you're able to implement them in an actual computer system by using a language like C or C++. And also, throughout the course, as I said, we are going to look at the various concepts and algorithms and facilities available in the Unix and Linux operating systems. Whatever concepts we cover in class related to Unix or Linux, for example, I'm going to give programming exercises where you are able to use those concepts and perform various tasks by using the services available in those Unix and Linux operating systems. I should also tell you that in this course there are 2 assistants, 2 people who are going to assist me, Nazia Zaman and Sana Khwaja. With that, I think it's time that we go ahead and look for the agenda for today, and also look at what we are going to do throughout the semester. So the agenda for today is that essentially we'll have the introduction to the course, followed by a simple look at a very simplified structure of a computer system. So essentially the organization of a computer system in a very simplified fashion. Then we look at the purpose of a computer system. Now, all of you have used computers for many number of years, and I'm sure you know why we use computers. I'll give you my perspective, and with that perspective, we are going to see as to how the operating system comes into picture, as to why we need to have an operating system, and how the various aspects of operating systems, various features and services help us do what we want to use the computer system for. After that, we look at the course outline in fair amount of detail, followed by just going into the course very slowly and looking at it as to why we need an operating system to begin with. So let's go on and look at the first part of today's lecture, which is a very simplified look at computer system. So computer system consists of basically 3 to 4 layers, okay, 3 to 4 parts, and I'm saying using the word layers because we are going to look at a layered model of a computer system where we have some hardware, okay, and in the hardware is are included things like your disk drive, your CPU in the computer system, such as the P4, main memory, a mouse, a keyboard, perhaps a printer and a plotter, and so on and so forth. So all of those items comprise what is known as the computer system hardware. Now, then on top of the computer system hardware, we have something known as an operating system, a software which has a particular purpose, and we are going to look at as to what the purpose is and what are the various elements of the operating system, and look into those elements in fair amount of detail throughout the course. Now, on top of the operating systems layer, we have a layer of software known as the applications layer. What we have in this layer is a number of applications and tools that we need to use whenever we use a computer system. For example, we may have word processing software, we may have a database software. In a banking environment, we would have some kind of software that helps the bankers do their daily chores, such as doing transactions and so on. In airline reservations office, we'll have a software that allows them to automate those processes. We may have compilers, integrated development environments, such as the C++ integrated development environment, or Java integrated development environment, or editors, text editors, such as the Pico and the Vi in a Unix system. Now, this is the applications layer that allows users to use the software, use the computer system. So on top of the application software, we have the users sitting, okay? Depending upon whether this computer system allows only one user to use the computer at a given time, or multiple users to use the computer at a given time, we would have one or more users using the computer. So again, to recap, looking at a computer system in terms of a number of layers, we have the hardware layer, we have the operating systems layer, we have the applications layer, and on top of the applications layer, we have the user sitting. So in terms of a diagram, this is how a computer system looks like. Okay, we have the hardware, the operating systems, the applications layer, and the users sitting on top. We are going to look at the details of the OS software as to what are the various components. One component which you would read about and hear about a lot in any literature on operating systems is known as the OS kernel, the operating system kernel. The purpose of the kernel is really to do the real work. So anything done by the operating system is really done by the kernel. Now, we are going to look at as to what the purpose of a computer system is. Now, all of you have used computers for many years. You know what you use the computer system for. So there are various perspectives as to what the purpose of a computer system is. In general, we would say that a computer system is used to allow you to solve problems in an efficient manner, and it provides you tools to do that. Now, whenever you solve a problem by a computer, typically, if you're using the computers which you use on a daily basis, such as a PC with an operating system on top, such as Windows or Linux and Unix, you would end up using some tools to develop a program which would solve the problem. Okay? So, for example, you may be asked in a programming course, for example, that you are to develop a software, write a program which would manage a student system in a class or in a college or in a university. So you are going to use maybe an integrated development environment such as for Visual C or for Java, and end up writing a program which, when executed, would help the user, perhaps somebody in the admissions office or the registrar's office or a teacher, to maintain student records, such as the name of the student and the ID of the student, the current GPA, and so on and so forth. Now, so it allows you to, so a computer system's purpose is to allow you to solve problems by writing solutions for them which would run on a computer system. Now, so essentially, if you look at it, all you end up doing is, by using various tools and development environments, using a particular language, you end up writing a program which is to be run on a computer system, perhaps the same computer system where you developed the program, or another computer system. So the end result is that the purpose of a computer system is to run programs. It's that simple. So the purpose of a computer system is to run programs. Now, how are these programs run? We are going to look at this process in a bit more detail, and the purpose of this discussion is not going to be what you perhaps already know, as to the computer is the executable, the program has to be in the main memory, and then it runs, and so on and so forth. The purpose of this discussion here would be to highlight the issues which the underlying operating system needs to handle. So let's look at a diagram for a computer system which consists of a system bus, and hang off the system bus various devices and peripheral devices such as the CPU, the main memory, a mouse perhaps, a keyboard, the display screen, there's a hard drive, there may be a piece of RAM in there, a printer perhaps is connected, and so on and so forth. So how does a program execute on a computer system? Now, first we need to know that as to where the program resides before it executes, before we run it, by either double-clicking an icon on a Windows-like Windows-like system which provides a graphical user interface, or by typing a command line and hitting the enter key. اچھا اب دیکھنا یہ کہ ایکسیکیوٹ کرنے سے پہلے پروگرام ہوتا کہاں پہ ہے. تو دا پروگرام از آن دا ڈسک. تو جب ڈسک پہ پروگرام پڑا ہوتا ہے, آپ ایک آئیکن کو ڈبل کلک کرتے ہیں یا کمانڈ لائن ٹائپ کر کے انٹر ہٹ کرتے ہیں, تو کمپیوٹر سسٹم کا کوئی حصہ اس پروگرام کو ڈسک سے مین میموری میں ڈالتا ہے, وہاں سے پھر سی پی یو کو کسی اسٹیٹ میں لے کے آتا ہے تاکہ جو پہلی انسٹرکشن ہے پروگرام میں وہ ایکسیکیوٹ کر سکے. تو جیسا کہ آپ نے کمپیوٹر آرگنائزیشن اور اسمبلی لینگویج کے کورس میں سیکھا کہ جب سی پی یو ایک انسٹرکشن کو ایکسیکیوٹ کرتا ہے تو اس کے بعد جو پروگرام میں دوسری انسٹرکشن ہے اس کو ایکسیکیوٹ کرتا ہے. تو اس کو کیسے پتہ چلتا ہے کہ کس انسٹرکشن کو ایکسیکیوٹ کرنا ہے؟ پروگرام کاؤنٹر جو ہے سی پی یو کے اندر وہ پوائنٹ کرتا ہے جو اگلی انسٹرکشن کو ایکسیکیوٹ کرنا ہو, جس اگلی انسٹرکشن کو ایکسیکیوٹ کرنا ہو. تو اس طرح ڈسک سے پروگرام لیا جاتا ہے, مین میموری میں ڈال دیا جاتا ہے, سی پی یو کی اسٹیٹ کو پراپرلی سیٹ کر دیا جاتا ہے, ان پرٹیکولر setting the PC, the program counter, to point to the right instruction to be executed. And after that, the CPU gets into the CPU cycle, which is fetching the next instruction, decoding it, and executing it. اچھا, اب اس سارے پروسیس میں دیکھیں کہ کمپیوٹر سسٹم کو کیا کیا کرنا پڑا اور اس کے علاوہ اور کیا ایشوز ہیں. ایک تو یہ کہ اس نے پہلے جب آپ نے ڈبل کلک کیا ایک آئیکن کو یا کمانڈ لائن آپ نے ٹائپ کی, تو اس کمانڈ لائن کو لے کے کمپیوٹر سسٹم نے دیکھنا ہے کہ یہ جو کمانڈ لائن میں جو پروگرام آپ نے بتایا ہے یہ ڈسک میں کس جگہ پہ ہے. ٹھیک ہے جی, یہ کسی فائل میں ہوگا. تو جب پروگرام کریٹ کیا گیا تو یہ فائل کریٹ کی